Your attention, please. And now, on with the show.
Live from Paradise Studios in New York, Strong Island Television presents Under the Radar, starring Randy Unger. Brought to you by Magnitude Jewelry. Add a 2 to match your attitude. Tonight, Randy will be reviewing the new films The Sound of Silence and Running with the Devil with special guest critics Judith Davis, Robin Channing, and Matt Warren. And now, here's your host, Randy Unger.
Hey guys, welcome to Under the Radar. I'm your host, Randy Unger, and this is the show where we talk all things film, big and small, we cover it all. Hey guys, welcome back.
All right, hey Randy, hello viewing audience.
Robin Channing, mentalist and magician, welcome back. It's been a while.
I know, in more ways than one, I know.
Yeah, how are you?
All right, well, on the one hand, I'm in the know because, mentalist.
Mm-hmm.
And
You know all.
Well, I try to. Sometimes I succeed.
Good.
I just attended a magic convention yesterday called MAX in New Jersey, so even then, here I am.
Yes.
And, busy schedule, so, robinchanning.com in case anybody wants to. And I'm on social media.
We'll save plugs for the end of the show.
Yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there because, I wanted to take the initiative.
Yes, very good, very good.
All right.
Matt Roran, where have you been? You were only here last week and the week before.
Yes,
you were here.
I feel like I've been here every week for the past.
I love it though.
Like 7 months, I don't know.
No, you guys are
Rocketing
you're more than
miles,
welcome.
as it were, huh?
You guys,
All right.
you're more than welcome anytime.
All right, very good.
Yeah. How was the Cult Cafe last night?
Good. We did. We did Buck Rogers in 25th Century last night.
Sweet.
Still a lot of fun.
Good turnout?
Yeah, it was decent.
Okay.
Smaller turnout. I expected it to be a little smaller. It's kind of a, it's an oddball film, I guess.
Yeah, it's a random one.
Because it's like, it's not classic enough that it really has like a reoccurring fan base, like something like Ghostbusters or whatever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like if you watch the show growing up, like you're into it. If not, you probably missed out. But it's cool because it's like George Lucas like took a lot from the original 30s serial of Buck Rogers.
Right.
Like the opening credits and everything like that is all from Buck Rogers.
Okay.
Not to mention Flash Gordon as well, right?
Yeah.
And it's like it came out a year after, like 2 years after Star Wars, and they took so much from Star Wars the movie to do this. Like the opening shot in it is like the slow pan, the ship pan, like where it's exactly like the same beginning. It's
and it feels kind of cartoonish. Like, is it almost like a spoof?
It's kind of
itself.
It's light.
Okay. It's like
kind of like
family-friendly.
if Han Solo was like the main character.
Okay.
It's kind of like, and like he was frozen for 500 years.
Cool.
But,
Got a little Austin Powers thing going.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. That's
All
cool.
right. Or
Well-
Captain America thing,
That's better. That's actually better.
Yeah.
Comparison.
Yeah.
So guys, we just have 2 movies today. Running with the Devil. This is a very interesting. It's a crime thriller about a group of. It's like a weird ring of cocaine dealers. Nicolas Cage is involved. Lawrence Fishburne is more involved. Cole Hauser's there, and Adam Goldberg, Barry Pepper. It's got a great cast.
Great cast.
Yeah, but it fell flat for
Yeah.
me. This was just kind of a lame film.
It was like, it had a more, what I would call a made-for-TV type of thing
Yeah.
for it.
It reminded me a lot of like all the direct-to-DVD movies that came out in like the early 2000s.
Well, that's a kind appraisal on your part.
Well, that's all Nick Cage does these days, unfortunately. He slips one like major release in like Mandy, Mom and Dad.
Well, I mean, they're it's like most of what he does is like made for
It's sad.
straight to DVD.
Well,
But every other one is really good.
Right. It's
Well-
like really random.
well, I do really like what he did for Spider-Man Into the
Oh,
Spider-Verse.
he was great. He was incredible.
But
Spider-Man
that was he
Noir,
was
yeah,
underused, I think, in that though.
Definitely.
Well,
Painfully.
Well, I wouldn't even so far as to say that because look at the cast of characters in
Oh, yeah.
Under the
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
yeah,
There was a lot. I mean,
It's great.
if there were like maybe 2 or 3 characters and he was one of
Yeah.
them, okay, I could see him being used a lot more. But let's be fair here.
I see a standalone film for
I would love to see
like what was
that,
it,
yeah.
Noir?
The Noir Spider-Man,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That
That'd be a
could
great
to-
movie.
That could be a great series.
Yeah.
Especially with Nicolas Cage voicing him.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, I don't know if he would do it though.
Rubik's Cube. It's like I'm taking this.
Awesome.
Right.
Matt, what did you think of the movie?
It was when you first told me we were reviewing this movie. I looked at the cast and I was like,
Yeah, right.
oh man, like how can you like I mean Nicolas Cage usually even his weakest roles I love just because there's usually a chance for him to cage it out.
Yeah.
He doesn't do that at all in this
No,
movie.
he's like sleepwalking through that
yeah,
whole thing.
there's like no point where he
There he
like
is.
goes full cage.
There he is.
That's like
That's
that
the
might
extent.
fool you into thinking.
Right,
He's
right,
just
right.
he's like I'm a little bit angry right now.
Well, you know, as far as I'm concerned, look at the character that he was portraying
Yeah.
and the circumstances. It's like,
like a
there,
teacher.
there was almost no chance for him to go full cage based
Oh,
on
yeah.
the context.
Yeah.
Right.
Look at the character. I mean, he
Yeah.
was
He's just an everyday man. He's a cook in a random restaurant. And
or restaurant or diner or whatever it was.
Yeah. Not a lot
And-
going there in terms of character
and-
development.
Right, but it's given the character and what he was doing,
Yeah.
that's what the character happened to be. And I thought Nicolas Cage, even though the character didn't have too many intense moments, it just the character didn't allow for that to happen.
That's
That's
like
just what it
all
was.
the characters. Like it's not that the performances were weak.
Right.
It's just that the writing
Yeah.
was so gave them nothing to do.
It didn't allow them to like really
like
flourish.
I mean, like Adam Goldberg. Like
Yeah.
he's another guy who's great
Yeah.
for like going off on rants and tangents.
and playing
like-
sleazeballs, he's good
Yeah.
at that.
Well, I think his best part in the movie, best scene in the movie, was him like tied up.
Oh,
He's,
yeah,
like-
yeah.
I guess it was like broken glass on
Yeah.
the floor. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, there were definitely cool scenes in the movie.
Yeah.
I
as
mean,
a
I
whole.
liked you had scenes with Cage, Goldberg, and
Fishburne.
Fishburne together.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, this is great. It didn't hit what you wanted it to,
Yeah.
though. But yeah, I mean, it definitely fell flat. The film itself
yeah.
was just kind of
It's a huge disappointment.
made.
Because
Yeah. Like,
it's at its core
Yeah.
was the story, and for me, the story didn't do anything for me.
Right.
yeah.
So I mean, I was just talking about it with you, Randy.
Yeah.
An actor can only go so far as to turn chicken crap into chicken salad.
Yeah.
yeah.
Anything beyond that is treading into the territory of actual alchemy.
Yeah.
And they just
Yeah, that's
did.
what they were working with.
They did the best with what they had to work with.
Yeah.
So I put no blame on the actors themselves at all. It's
Well,
just-
here's a more fun discussion. Are you guys Nick Cage fans? And what are some of your favorite performances?
I like Nicolas Cage. Really strong performance, of course, in Leaving Las Vegas.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
His
Face
only
Off,
Oscar,
yeah.
by the way.
Oh, Face Off.
Face
Face
Off,
Off,
you
yep.
know. I mean, he goes like really full on method as far as I know
Oh, yeah.
when he goes into his characters, and Leaving Las Vegas allowed him to really go full on
Yeah.
method with
Yeah.
that, and he did a lot of stuff in the '90s. I've lost count of how many good, and also. One of the most notable early films that I've seen of Nicolas Cage was "It Could Happen to You."
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That's actually one of my favorites, actually. Bridget Fonda, 1993.
It's like you got this couple of sweethearts that are just so
Yeah.
adorable together. It's just you want to see them end up together, and you cry for their tragedies, you cheer for their triumphs. And Nicolas Cage was just this unbelievably likable guy in that one.
I think early to mid 90s, or late 90s even, that's just prime Cage. Right
Yeah.
that was like the '90s were his
Yeah,
decade.
Like, I think my favorite is probably The Rock, of all of his movies.
Rock's good.
That might be my favorite.
I'm a big fan of Con Air.
Yep. it's so ridiculous.
I mean, Wild at Heart. I mean, it's David Lynch directing
Yes.
Nicolas Cage,
Yeah.
which is, I mean, just the cast in that alone. Also, you know, you have Crispin Glover, like a lot of
Laura
like
Dern.
loose cannon actors. Laura Dern, who I mean, it's just a brilliant, like, weird parallel of, like, Wizard of Oz in there.
Nice.
It's a very weird film that I love. You know, I love the National Treasure movies.
It's good, clean fun.
Because it's like, yeah.
Mindless entertainment. It's good.
Like, they're fun.
Yeah. They only made 2, right? They didn't.
They only made 2.
They could have gone
They
further.
keep talking about a third.
Oh, really?
Possibly happening.
Oh, all right.
The way franchises sort of cycle, I wouldn't be surprised if 10, maybe 20 years from now we'll get a
Yeah,
third
right.
National
Oh, yeah,
Treasure.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we're getting a third Bill and Ted.
I was gonna. I
Yep.
thought you were gonna mention Bad Boys for life.
We're getting a third Bad Boys.
Was that
yeah.
We're getting a
16
fourth
years later?
Matrix, all right?
Yeah. Because
So-
there's like a lack
We're
of.
getting 17 more avatars.
There's like no originality left. What's the deal here, guys?
Well, I mean, there's only so much originality one can come up with,
Yeah.
all right? I mean, so much new ground was broken within the past few decades.
Yeah.
I mean, Avatar broke a hell of a lot of new ground, and I can't wait for the sequels to eventually come out.
Yeah.
And, well, you know what? I would argue that we have had some fairly good original content. I would argue that Alita Battle Angel was a fairly original piece, even though it's been
Yeah.
in the manga.
Yeah,
I
based
enjoy-
on something else.
I
but
really
yeah, it was-
enjoyed that.
I loved it. I thought it was so
Actually,
well
yeah,
it's
done.
one of
right.
the better 3D movies I've seen lately.
Yeah.
So.
Right, yeah. I love that. And,
Yeah, I thought it was a lot of fun.
and the Marvel movies, especially, you know, the last couple Avengers movies.
Yeah.
And the whole saga I love to death. I love
Yeah,
the pieces.
sure.
It's just adapted source materials to be sure, but come
Yeah.
on.
But what the Russo brothers did for that, I mean, all the films have been great, but like the ones that they've been involved with from Winter Soldier and on.
Yeah, from
have
Winter
been-
Soldier onward, they
been
have just been
insanely good.
home run, home
Yeah.
run.
They've
I mean, I
nailed all of
I
them.
like the first Iron Man. I thought that was pretty.
Oh,
decent.
first Iron
It
Man
was great, yeah, right.
It's great.
And the first Captain America. That was,
Oh yeah,
that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
I
Joe
mean,
Johnson.
it feels like Rocketeer.
Yep.
Which I think they're talking about doing a reboot of as
Oh,
well.
that'd be great if
Yeah,
they don't
right.
screw
Yeah.
it up. You know, I don't know.
Well, you know what? It's not so much that. It's that. Here's the thing. In terms of like success mindset, you could either prepare for failure or strive for success. And if you prepare for failure, you're looking at worst case scenarios,
Right.
and you're thinking, you're gearing your mind in terms of falling down and falling down hard.
Yeah.
You're looking downwards and you're preparing for that. But if you set your sights upwards, like for the moon and the stars, that's where your mindset is. So it's not so much the idea of hoping it doesn't fail. The idea is, let's see how much it can succeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, that's
So
interesting.
basic success psychology right there. All right.
Nice. But back to Nicolas Cage.
All right.
Do you think he's going to win another Oscar? I mean, do you?
Not for this movie.
Definitely not. For this. No.
But it's like
Definitely
it
not.
all depends on what he's
That's
given,
true.
what he has to work
Yeah.
with, what he can do, and all
Because
that.
that was 24 years ago, leaving Las Vegas.
Yeah, right.
So
And that next thing you know, his career like catapulted, and the '90s were a very good decade for him.
Very
I
good.
feel like he did a lot of great, enjoyable work since then.
Yeah.
But I don't think anything that would be Academy
Yeah.
like recognized. And I don't know if he's gonna do anything
I mean-
else that like would be Academy.
It's
recognized.
possible because look at Arnold Schwarzenegger with. Did you know about the movie Maggie?
Yeah.
Where his daughter gets infected by a zombie virus or something,
Yeah.
and he has to care for her.
Oy.
And yeah, apparently he got rave reviews for his performance. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean it's always a possibility,
Right.
but like,
Well-
I don't feel like he's gonna be choosing those roles, like,
Yeah.
because I feel like he's been just trying to go with weird stuff,
Yeah.
like
Out
like
there.
after Mandy came out and he's like, oh, because what's the name of the next movie he has coming out, he was like. He's like, oh, the next movie I'm working on is even crazier than Mandy. Then I saw this and was like, I hope this wasn't what he was talking about. But it's what's coming out like pretty soon.
Okay.
Well, you know, on Nicolas Cage, yeah, he pulled out an Oscar winner for Leaving Las Vegas, but here's the thing. How often can any given actor
Right.
who's ever been nominated and or won an Oscar pull
Yeah.
out an Oscar-winning performance? It's,
Right.
in all honesty, it's rare for anybody to pull out
Right.
anything Oscar-worthy. Let's just face it.
Yeah.
So we can't just
Right.
just ask the question blindly. When is Nicolas Cage going to put out another
Yeah.
Oscar-winning performance?
Right.
It's not fair to him.
That's
That's
true.
true.
That's a good
Yeah.
point.
right. So there's that.
And at least he's had a couple like like Moonstruck, just like stuff
Oh,
that like
yeah.
definitely is that like caliber.
Yeah.
All right. I
I
mean,
can't think of any other actor in that caliber.
Yeah.
He's like a man.
He's definitely like
he's on a league in a league of his own.
Yeah.
Of all the Oscar winners, notice the percentage of them that have won an Oscar more than once.
Yeah.
Very small percentage.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't like Tom Hanks did it in '94. Then again, 1 year later. I'm sorry.
And if anyone's going to win
93,
multiple
94.
Oscars,
Yeah.
it's that guy.
yeah,
Because
Yeah,
it's
right.
like,
It
I feel
doesn't-
like everything he does is nominated.
yeah.
So-
it doesn't happen often, but
It's so rare, and multiple Oscars much more rare. It's
Yeah.
like not even a. It's close to a high single percentage of all Oscar winners in our history
Yeah.
of movies, and furthermore, with the case of Tom Hanks, here is my suspicion. In the world of flair bartending, there was this amazing flair bartender named I believe his name was Christian Delpeche. After winning tournament after tournament after tournament, he was like quietly asked to just, okay, don't compete in the next one because we don't want you, adding another consecutive victory.
Yeah.
That's the suspicion I have about him. I think that's what happened because after a while he just didn't compete because he won so many in a row already. To me, that's like Tom Hanks. Not that this is what actually happened, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's a suspicion because Tom Hanks was able to do not just win 2 Oscars, but win 2 Oscars in a row.
right.
So I'm like,
Consecutively is-
okay, let's give someone else get Best Actor. We don't want to have too many Tom Hanks. In a row.
Yeah.
He was only the second actor ever to win 2 Oscars in a row.
Is he? Who?
Who was I forget who the first was, but that was like many decades ago.
Oh yeah. It was a while back. I think
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the
yeah.
30s or 40s actually.
Yeah. So it was like way back when. So he made history already.
Are you guys? Do you watch the Oscars, Matt? Are you a fan of the Oscars?
I usually skip most award shows. The only time I ever really is like we do a big Oscar celebration at cinema.
Awesome.
Where we show the Oscars and there's a big party. That's usually like the only time I even know. And I don't even work Sundays anymore. So I like last couple years. It's been 2 years since I've worked the Oscars. I'll come in the next day. People will be like, buying movie tickets and being like, "Can you believe so and so won?" And I'm like, "I don't know who won anything."
Yeah,
like,
right.
how can you not know? I'm like,
Right.
I don't care.
Yeah, right.
Because the theater that you work at, that Matt works at, is they show a lot of art house indie.
Yeah, so
a lot of the nominated films.
It's one of those things when a lot of customers will be like, "Oh, I can't believe you're showing this movie." It might win an Oscar, and I'm like, most of the movies we show are the movies that you've never heard of that are in the Oscars, and you're like, "I didn't go see that," and then you see them when the mainstream theaters show all the Oscar movies at once, But yeah, I mean, it's like. It's a normal thing that mostly art house movies win, like art films win Oscars and stuff
Yeah.
because,
Here's
That's
what
they are.
Here's
They're
what
designed for that.
Here's
Yeah.
what I think is an assumed overlap that people, I think, assume too much. There's Joe Public, and then there's the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. And when a movie wins an Oscar, I suspect people often think that what Joe Public and what the Academy values as far as movies are concerned, that they operate on the same scale, which leads to all the disagreements and
yeah.
arguments left
Yep.
and right.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's what most people aren't aware of, that it's the Academy that's making the decisions, not, and it's based on their standards and their guidelines,
Right.
not so much on behalf of Joe Public.
Right, it's not a democracy.
that's
really.
why movies like Skyscraper aren't nominated for Oscars.
Yeah, right.
Because it's like, well, a bunch of people saw The Rock in this, and like it's like, yeah, but
Well, I'll tell you, Green Book, it won Best Picture last
Yeah.
year. I didn't think it was that great. I thought it was more for the masses. It was kind of like a standard
it
drama.
I mean, it was. It was very like commercial approach or
Right.
whatever, but I gotta say when I saw it, we showed it for Preview Club, which is a series we do where we show a advanced screening of an upcoming movie. You don't know what movie it is until you come in.
Oh, okay.
We screened it at that. It happened to be one of the ones I stayed for, and I loved it.
Yeah.
I mean, watching it with that audience, it got. I mean,
Yeah.
It was a very intense like audience. Like it was like applause and but I thought the movie was very well done.
Yeah. I thought it was very average to me.
I'm also like a sucker for like music
Okay.
movies.
Okay.
Like I'm like first and foremost my background is music. Like
Nice.
that's like where I come from. So it's like movies about like musicians, it's based on a real person,
Yeah.
and it's like I just I love seeing that side of.
I suspect you must have really enjoyed Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh.
I did not.
You did not?
What?
Bohemian Rhapsody, I did not because the performances are great. I thought everyone involved did a fantastic job playing the characters. I felt it was very heavy-handed and full of untruths. Because also being a huge Queen fan, I feel like the timeline was off on a lot of things, which is like nitpicky crap that I'll pick.
Right.
And then there's stuff like Mike Myers in it, like referencing Wayne's World. I just thought it was like A, in poor taste, B, just really cheesy, where it's like, oh, Bohemian Rhapsody, I can't picture anyone headbanging in a car to this. It's like, cool, guess what? Headbanging doesn't exist yet. It's not a thing. Like, there's so much inconsistency in that film that I was very turned off by it. The performances were amazing. Like, watching them do, like, the Live Aid thing was like, if the movie was just the live performances, I would have loved it. But I mean, and then Rami Malek nailed it.
Yeah.
Nailed it. He deserves that Oscar.
Yeah.
That was well earned.
I can't wait to see him as he's the villain in the next Bond film.
Yeah,
right.
It's going to be awesome.
And-
So yeah,
If I may offer devil's advocate for a moment, I know that there are a lot of inconsistencies between Bohemian Rhapsody and the real life of Queen, but it's a movie.
True.
It's not meant to be a biography of Queen per se. It's just a movie.
well,
So,
it is. See, there's a difference because it is pushed as a biopic. That's what it is. Whereas take something like Rocket Man. Rocket Man was fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
And it was presented as a fantasy.
Right.
And there's probably more truth in that than there was in Bohemian Rhapsody.
Those are like dreamlike flashbacks.
Yeah.
Which kind of enhanced it.
It's also like one of those things like Bohemian Rhapsody was too in control of surviving members of who basically were like in the thing, they're basically saying, oh well, the two of us never did drugs and we never cheated on our girlfriends. That is horseshit. They put all of this on Freddie Mercury to make it look like he was a bad person. And that they were angels, which is horseshit.
Oh, interesting.
I hated that about it. And even what's his face, the bass player, John Deacon, like they also like half the things where they're like poking fun at Freddie Mercury, which they do quite often in the movie, is they make John Deacon's character be the guy to be like, oh, like blah blah blah, Freddie Mercury. Like they make him do the dirty work because he was not involved in the script writing, all that because he hates the other two guys.
So is that like the main criticism people have over that film? How it's inaccurate?
It seems to be the most.
I feel like, and also like they're talking about like, oh well, now they want to do a sequel to it, and it's like, oh, so it's like about them post Freddie Mercury. It's like honestly, not a single person cares about what happens to these two guys after Freddie Mercury died.
Right.
Like, like when you bring in like, we're gonna have like a guy play George Michael. We're gonna have a guy play, what's the guy from American Idol that sings for them now? Like, it's like, yeah,
We're not music guys.
yeah.
Yeah, well, I have had actually friends who have not only watched Bohemian Rhapsody repeatedly, but have gone out of their way to research Queen and Freddie Mercury to find out the real facts. And much like myself, they're like, okay, Bohemian Rhapsody was a movie. And they took a lot of artistic liberties with the movie to make it a movie.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but I mean, it's like one of those things. When biopics are, because it is a biopic, regardless of like whether or not it's a movie, it's representing itself as the story of a band, a real life story. It's like if Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter was presented as, well, this is the truth about Abraham Lincoln. No,
Right.
I mean, it's not. Which is, I don't know. But whatever. I digress.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, yeah, so we've talked about Oscars and biopics. What do you guys think about movies tackling real life issues? Do you think that's a slippery slope?
Well, you know what? I don't think it's fair to talk about the entire phenomenon. I think it's much more accurate and fair to talk about the individual movies within that.
Okay.
And how well each individual movie tackles its job.
Yeah.
Because you can't just summarize every single real life issue movie under one umbrella conversation.
True.
You know. So, but what real life issue did you have in mind, if I may ask?
Oh, I mean, we mentioned Tom Hanks. So Sully was a pretty decent example of that.
Okay.
I didn't think it was a great movie, and I didn't really know much about the real life Sully and the story. But I thought that the film was really well made, and they tackled that subject matter really well. A movie that I don't think it was based on an actual person, but it had a similar vibe was Denzel Washington.
Flight.
Yes.
Right.
Which I loved. I think that was a better film, actually.
Yeah, I haven't seen Sully.
Okay.
So I don't really.
Me neither,
I
unfortunately.
don't really.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like one of those movies. Like, oh, I forgot that came out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean the way it was handled in Flight, I thought was very, very
Yeah.
you know, because I mean it's a very similar story. I feel like it was kind of like based on that situation.
Yeah, except with
changed.
alcohol and cocaine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Funny we should mention movies people forgot about. We mentioned Avatar
Yeah.
more than once,
Yeah.
and now the sequels are on the way.
Right.
And that is a movie that came out 10 years ago.
10 years ago. Yeah.
Who remembers a movie called The Hurt Locker?
Oh, that's a great movie.
Oh yeah.
That won Best Picture that year. I
Yep.
think.
Yep.
Against Avatar, it won Best Picture.
Well, it's a more serious story. It's a better movie, I'd say.
A much better movie.
You know, I mean, it's a very different film.
It's a
but
very different film.
but,
And James Cameron's
ex-wife
directed it.
was it? And it won
Yeah.
that year.
It won that year
That's
again.
very
Won
interesting.
that year.
So yeah.
So,
Yep.
so in terms, so to bring it full circle in terms of movies people remember,
Yeah.
even though The Hurt Locker is considered to be a more solid film, people are talking about Avatar to this day.
Yeah.
You know,
That's a
Well,
good
I feel
point.
like the only reason I bring up Avatar is to talk about like crap.
Yeah.
Like I just thought Avatar was a bad movie.
It is. Well,
It's a rehashed like
it's
storyline.
Dances with Wolves,
It's
Pocahontas. Yeah.
And the way I saw it, like visually, like everyone's like, "Oh, it's so stunning, it's whatever." It's too cartoony
Yeah.
to be considered realistic. It's too realistic to be considered cartoony. I'd say like Who Framed Roger Rabbit is a better blend
Classic.
of like animation and live action than Avatar.
Well, kids love the
and,
Avatar.
and
They-
and
they-
it's like
that's
one of those
I-
things like
I love
people
Avatar.
would have forgotten about Avatar
Yeah.
if they weren't cramming it down our throats, and James Cameron wouldn't stop trying to make sequels that 10% of the world want.
When it comes to Cameron sequels,
Yeah.
I've mentioned this on the show many times. Where's True Lies 2? I mean,
Oh,
I want
man.
True Lies 2. I know they were going to do it around 9/11.
Yeah.
Not a good time for a terrorist
Yeah,
action
yeah.
film.
Yeah.
But do it now. For
True
well, you know,
I
it,
mean,
it takes time. I mean, look, Terminator 2 came out 8 years after Terminator 1, thereabouts, all right? So
Yeah,
cut,
yeah.
cut the guy some
seven.
slack.
7, yeah.
7 years, okay,
Yeah.
but still, that
Still.
took a while. I mean,
And
come on.
it's kind of seamless. Like,
And
it
besides-
flows into it.
And by the way, what you just said about Avatar, let's look at Star Wars.
Oh,
it's
God.
Buck Rogers and Flash Gordon
Exactly,
elements
yeah,
with
yeah.
Kurosawa elements, all right? If you want to boil one movie, let's boil another movie in a similar vein, all right? But Star Wars, of course, legendary, and I'm like devil's advocate. I'm like black sheep in this couch here. I actually liked a lot Bohemian Rhapsody. I actually liked a lot Avatar, and I liked it where it is.
I like Bohemian Rhapsody. I didn't love Avatar. But I respect what Cameron did, and he moved film in a new direction. You know,
Yeah,
I
he broke a lot of ground.
respect what he was going for.
Right.
I don't think he pulled it off.
yeah.
I mean, I didn't find enjoyment in it.
the story sucks.
The story was bland.
You know?
The characters I didn't really care for.
I would have loved to see more of like the corporate side with Giovanni Ribisi's
Yeah,
character.
you know,
that was
like
cool stuff.
that part is the kind of the more intriguing part.
Right.
I don't know, like
Maybe we'll get more.
it's
of
one of
that.
those things where I should sit down and rewatch it because I have not seen it since it came out.
If you have the
And-
time, it's like 3 hours.
Yeah.
I have watched it more than
Yeah.
once, actually. I'm one of those guys that
Yeah.
really dig the movie. I really liked Avatar.
Yeah.
especially the whole Turok Makto angle of it. I really like that part.
Okay.
And
The what? I'm sorry.
the whole, you remember that really big flying monster in the sky, the Toruk?
Oh, yeah.
He was the writer he was like the 7th writer of that one, and a writer of those big monsters hasn't been seen in like several generations, and he became the most recent one.
Okay.
He became their living legend, like in the flesh. So I liked especially that angle of it, and me personally, I liked a lot of the story. I really liked a lot of what the movie offered and delivered. So with me, it's one of my favorites actually.
Okay.
So
Really?
I will be willing to argue against this whole panel and say I really liked Avatar a lot.
I liked it. I just didn't love the creatures.
I like them a lot too.
The blue monkeys, as they're called by Ravisi.
Yeah, and I remember I attended my first New York Comic Con back in 2010, and I remember people criticizing it left and right. It's like Dances with Wolves with Blue People. All right,
Yeah.
I get it. But it's like, it's not my job to change everybody else's opinion just because I like it. I'm like, okay, let everybody have their
Oh
opinion.
yeah,
and I'll have
everybody
mine
likes what
on.
they like.
And it's the highest grossing film of all time, right?
Second,
Not anymore.
Second highest now.
Was the Avengers?
Endgame, yeah.
Endgame just beat it.
Nice. Well, I think Gone with the Wind, with inflation.
Inflation?
Yeah.
Gone with the Wind is
I've looked it up. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Cool. Well, guys, we're going to take a short commercial break, and we'll be back with our second film review segment with The Sound of Silence right after this.
Under the Radar is brought to you by Magnitude Jewelry. Add a 2 to match your attitude. Patent pending interchange genuine gemstone and crystal EMF protection jewelry. For more information, please visit magnitudejewelry.com/gemgirl or call 718-268-6634.
And we're back, guys. Welcome to Under the Radar. I'm your host, Randy Unger. And joining us now, Judith Davis. Hi.
Hi.
Welcome.
Hi, guys.
Welcome to the second segment. How are you? It's been a while since I've seen you last.
Yeah, actually, I think it was Tribeca. So, yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Or no, in one of the screenings.
Oh, that's right. It was one of the screens.
There's so many.
It's been so, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're right.
Okay. So, second film, The Sound of Silence, and it stars Peter Sarsgaard as a house tuner who basically goes to people's houses and tries to assess the sounds in the house, make sure everything is okay with like feng shui and like how the sounds are related to your emotional state. And yeah, this was just a very interesting film. The subject matter was, I've never heard of a movie like this before.
Yeah.
I've never even heard of house tuning. But Judy, what did you think of the film?
Well, I did think that it is, well, it was interesting, shot well, but it's definitely one that you shouldn't ever go too tired because it has like a lot of classical music.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really intriguing. I mean, the actors did a great job, but it is one that's very silent quite a bit of the time.
Yeah.
So, but I enjoyed it. I wasn't tired, so I stayed and watched
Good.
and enjoyed it.
That's good. Cool. Robin, I know you didn't see the film.
My schedule prevented it,
Well,
unfortunately.
that's fine, but I know you're a magician, a mentalist. So
right.
how does like sound, how do you incorporate sound in your routines?
Well, first of all, I make a good point of projecting whenever I speak, so there's one aspect of sound. But as far as using sound in an effect, it's not a very often touched upon subject.
Yeah.
Very few people in my line of work have actually incorporated sound directly in the use of an effect. Like, where's the feature? I've had some peers and colleagues and good friends who have actually done sound-based effects, like especially for the visually impaired and so forth. Okay. But it's not something that I myself have explored all that much. Although I could see quite a bit of like music-oriented pieces being possible, and so on and so forth. So yeah, sound. It's not a territory that I've explored all that much in my own work.
I'm surprised because I thought you might have explored that realm.
Well, I liken not just my line of work, but anybody that gets deeply invested into whatever they're doing. I liken just about any given field to like an endless wilderness, and it's possible to just get lost in the endless discovery of things.
Very profound.
Well, I will tell you, I apologize for cutting up. When I did go on Friday night, the directors and producers were there.
Michael
So-
Taberski.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I think Ben was one of the producers.
Okay.
So it was interesting listening to them because you could tell the director had a musical background because he seemed to make a conscious choice of certain instruments that we didn't even know about. People were like, it was a woman in the audience that knew a lot about the specific instrument, so she did talk to him more about it, and the two got together. He seemed to be very excited about that. But you could tell he was really into music, so that made it stand out a lot more for me.
Yeah, he was also, the filmmakers were at the screening we went to too.
Oh, very
Yeah,
cool.
Matt, what did you think of the movie?
It's one of those things. Unfortunately I did go into it tired. I had just gotten off of a long shift at work and drove from Long Island to Dumbo to watch it.
But worth it, I hope.
Well, it was definitely worth it.
Okay.
And it was nice because I had no idea the director and everything would be there. So it was great to have that Q&A afterwards, just to hear them talk about it, the project. I thought Sarsgaard's performance was incredibly strong. I really liked the premise of the film. I thought, especially his character was very well done.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone in it was good, but I thought he really
His performance was so deep.
It was.
It reminded me almost like a serious version of Sheldon from Big Bang Theory.
Right,
yeah.
right.
Kind of like, that's
Absolutely.
is that Asperger's?
Yeah, it's
They
something
think
like
they
that
suggest.
similar.
Yeah, very
But
focused.
I just it's like very strong performance,
Yeah.
and just the concept of the movie was very intriguing to me.
Even Rashida Jones had a pretty good.
Oh yeah, Rashida Jones. I mean, she's always solid.
It was serious, but there were like subtle
Yeah.
tones of like humor there, which
Yeah.
she's so good at.
She's very good at.
So,
and visually, the movie was stunning.
Yeah.
It was very visual.
But I'm also always a sucker for a New York
Yes.
yeah.
Even when they talked about the segment when they went back in time to show
Oh,
the
yeah, yeah.
gentleman doing the sound in Times
Yeah,
Square.
yeah.
That was real, right?
Yeah,
That was actually
and he did say
Yeah.
that they did the research to find that
Nice.
footage. So I was like, wow. But there were, I don't want to tell too much since he hasn't seen it yet, but there was a part where they did the blackout.
Oh
How
yeah, they
did
talked about that in detail.
Yeah. Oh,
About
they
how they
didn't.
did it?
They didn't
Oh.
discuss it when I went.
I think it was just computer generated.
Well,
I'm assuming.
Did
they say that?
said that the way they shot it was they shot the buildings in the daytime when the lights were off.
Okay.
And then shot it at night, and then
I see.
basically overlaid
Very
them together.
cool.
Yeah, it looked good.
Yeah.
It looked really
Yeah.
authentic. It did.
Yeah.
Because they talked a lot about watching New York skyline during Hurricane Sandy, during the blackout, just as examples of what they wanted to see.
Yeah.
And the visual style was really, really good.
Yeah.
It was all washed out, a lot of grays and browns throughout.
And it was that was one of the things that I thought about a lot while watching. It was the scoring, the soundtrack was. I loved it.
It was
Yeah.
an amazing soundtrack.
Good use of music.
Yeah,
for
it was
sure.
a very good use of music.
And I thought that there would be a slight romance developing between Sarsgaard and
It's
Jones.
there, but
Right.
it's
Yeah.
But they didn't really
Yeah.
go the extra mile, go further with it.
yeah.
That's all right. Are you familiar with Peter Sarsgaard's work?
Well, the name Sarsgaard seems to ring a bell. I think an actor named Sarsgaard, I think, was in the Thor movies, right? Was that Stellan Skarsgård?
No,
I
that's
forget-
Stellan.
Scars.
Stellan.
There's a bunch of Skarsgårds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Hold on.
The guy who plays Pennywise in the It movies is one of the Skarsgårds.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they're all related actually. Well,
Yeah,
at least
they're all-
Stellan and Peter. If I'm not
And
mistaken.
then one of them is being cast as Randall Flagg in the Stan movie.
Okay.
The little brother
Yeah, this
or
guy.
whatever.
Oh, okay. Peter
Yeah, yeah. He's
Sarsgaard.
done a lot of random
He
stuff.
has done
Yeah.
quite a bit.
And he's married to Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
I just found that out.
Really? No,
Yeah.
that I did not know.
Yeah.
Good to know.
All all these actor families are out there, and now we got the
It is.
Hemsworth family that's out
Oh,
there.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
and
And
several
there's a
others.
third Hemsworth brother who
Yeah,
doesn't
he
really.
he
Really?
played Thor in the play in
Oh,
Ragnarok.
that's
was
funny.
that Liam
Really?
Hemsworth or
That was
No, it's the youngest
The
one.
other.
Yeah,
Oh,
forget his
I had no idea.
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
yeah. Liam's the one that was dating
Actor Thor,
Miley
right?
Cyrus.
Well,
Okay.
he was married. They were married.
They were married. Right?
So I do have a question. Did you guys hope that they would delve further into Peter's character? Because I wanted to know. You mentioned
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Asperger's. I
what
wanted
happened?
to know.
How did he get
was
into this?
there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because even when he had gone to see the editor
Right.
about his piece, I mean, it was really
Oh,
strange.
like that
Yeah.
confrontation. I
Was
thought
very strange, yeah.
It was very striking. Like just like her reactions to him and like it's like
Like she knew something that we didn't know.
yeah, exactly.
And
And
I
what
wanted to
happened,
talk
what happened to
about
this
it.
guy to
Yeah.
make him
Yeah.
this way?
It was like
or has he
I
always been this way?
feel like most people just like write him off as like crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's like-
This, in a way, this movie kind of feels like a Charlie Kaufman film, or like
Kind
a
of.
Spike, like a Being John Malkovich type.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think this film was.
was
It's
a
definitely going to fall
weird-
under the radar.
Well, I think we're starting at the cinema next week.
Oh, are you?
I'll probably watch it a second time to
Oh, nice.
like absorb.
This is a
that.
rewatchable
Yeah.
film.
It is, and
Definitely.
it's right now in limited release, so I don't
Yeah.
know if it'll go further than
Yeah, I
LA
think
and
it
New York.
opens wide next.
Because right now
Oh,
it's,
good.
it's just at the IFC Center
Yeah.
right
Yes,
now. So
I think just at
great theater, by the way.
Oh, absolutely! I love seeing great movies there.
Yeah. So, final thoughts on The Sound of Silence, Matt?
I would say see it more than once.
Yeah.
Really like soak that movie in. It's definitely different than a lot of films that are out
Yeah.
right now or that I've seen. In
It's
a
kind
while.
of like a brave, unique thing.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I'm really
it's-
glad that
it's-
the movie kind of came out.
It's a very
this.
interesting, just like the feel of it. It's yeah, like I mean, like the movie feels
Yeah.
more than any. I mean, it's like I feel like I went in and I felt the movie.
Right.
It's not like you're watching it; you're like feeling it. You're taking it in.
This is like I think the second movie this year that's made me feel that way. With next to the Peanut Butter Falcon.
oh yeah.
Which did you see?
No, I did not see
Okay.
that yet.
Yeah.
That's I think number one on my list.
Well, I
that's a
will
good
say
one.
also too, if you guys haven't seen Goldfinch, that was one
Haven't
that
seen
makes
it.
you
Oh.
think
Probably
of
see
it.
it.
Yeah.
Nice.
After I leave here.
Oh, okay.
Robin, what's number one for you this year?
Number
so far.
number one, like so far this year.
Yeah.
Oh, good grief. Oh, gosh. Well, Endgame is like, I don't have
Okay.
a single number one, but Endgame would be a candidate.
Okay.
Well, right. So I'm just like blanking out in terms of what other movies have really like truly captured me this year, but Endgame definitely would be one of them.
Yeah.
And if I may take the initiative as far as movies that I'm looking forward to for the what's left of the rest of this year, Episode 9 of Star Wars.
Okay.
I'm really looking forward to that one. I'm also looking forward to Joker.
Cool. Yep.
Oh
That's gonna be good.
yeah, I've been
That's-
watching the trailer, and also I don't know if you guys have been. I want to know about Ad Astra because I'm trying to
Oh,
figure
yeah.
that out. Is it like a sequel or prequel to Space Cowboys? Because we, I mean seriously, we,
so
Oh
random.
my God!
right?
I didn't think about that.
I mean,
until
think
you just
about Tommy
mentioned
Lee
it.
Jones
yeah.
and Donald Sutherland.
That's a
That
good
would be
point.
funny. If
Yeah,
it was.
is it?
Who was
And they
that?
And it was Clint Eastwood too, right?
Clint
and
Eastwood.
Clint
He's,
Eastwood
he
and
directed
also
it,
James
yeah.
Garner.
Yeah.
But Tommy Lee Jones' character, remember, he elected to stay into
Right,
space
right.
because he had cancer.
Yeah.
So they were saying, is it Brad's father
That's
in the film?
interesting.
So I don't know. I haven't heard
Interesting.
any
I didn't even think about that.
confirmation,
That's
but I
funny.
definitely thought about that when I saw it.
Well, this is like a straight up sci-fi drama.
Yeah.
There's no
Yes.
comedy. In this.
There's-
no comedy at all.
So I don't know. I don't think it will be
Okay.
a sequel, but you never know.
But, you know,
Stranger Things.
Right?
could
It's
happen.
random, right?
The random, it happens a lot where you get a random assortment of
Yes.
actors who are in the same movies. I mean, Short Circuit. I just rewatched the other night.
Yeah.
You got Steve Guttenberg and
Ali Sheedy.
Ali Sheedy.
G.W. Bailey.
Oh,
2
yes.
years after
Oh,
Police
so
Academy,
long.
but it's not a Police Academy sequel.
That's right.
But yeah, no, it's like you get a lot of the same actors who like end up doing the same kind of movies together.
Yeah.
But
And I'm surprised has Nicolas Cage and Lawrence Fishburne ever worked together?
You know
Prior
what?
to
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No.
I don't
Weird.
think
That's
so.
weird. This is the movie they picked.
because both of them have been in everything.
And they're both great actors.
they are.
It's like,
They're really-
guys,
Yeah.
So
what
it's,
happened?
I just want to drop this. Alita
Yeah.
Battle Angel, which came out earlier this year,
Random.
I really, really, really liked as well.
That was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one was it?
Alita
Battle Angel?
Oh yeah, we were talking about before. Yeah,
That was
that
the
movie was
James
Oh,
Cameron
yeah.
produced and
yeah.
Robert Rodriguez
Yeah,
directed.
yeah.
I could feel that was certainly a passion project for James Cameron.
Oh yeah, well he's
Glad he
been trying to
followed
do
it.
it for a long time.
That was based on a graphic novel.
It's,
Yeah, manga. Yeah, manga
Manga.
from the Japan. Yeah.
Yeah, like I think he bought the rights for it like ages ago, and then it just never happened. I'm glad it did.
Sometimes better late than never because
Yeah.
the way
The
the movie
technology.
the movie technology, the
Oh,
way
yeah.
it is right now,
Yeah.
it was really able to do such an amazing job with bringing that story
Yeah.
to life. The way
And
it
I would
did.
love to see like sequels to it.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to see a franchise out of it. I don't know
FYI,
if we're gonna get it.
FYI, that's why the title, it was arranged as such. The original title was called Battle Angel Alita. The
Right.
fact that it's called Alita Battle Angel,
Right.
then the sequels could be
Alita.
Alita Fallen Angel, Alita this, that, you know, so
Okay.
That's cool.
So
He's
that's
thinking
why-
ahead.
yeah.
They definitely.
So I hope they get to because
it's a rich universe. They really
Yeah.
need to go further.
They
with
did
that.
such a really fantastic job with the world building
Yeah.
alone with that.
and there was like one of those movies like it got panned like pretty badly by a lot of people.
Yeah.
Why
I don't
should
know
that
why.
matter?
I know.
It's a fun
Well, I
ride.
mean that's like one of those things. It's like that's
think
always
that's
a
what it
curse,
is
you know, on
sometimes.
things that should have sequels. People like because they'll take these people on the internet didn't like it, so. But I really hope it gets a sequel.
And speaking
And
of
more.
speaking of sequels and films that really need sequels, I just wanted to announce that Galaxy Quest celebrates its 20th anniversary this
Really?
year,
That's
1999, and they're coming out with a special limited edition Blu-ray Steelbook
Amazing.
on September 21st. So I think we have an image of that, if I'm not mistaken. There it is.
Oh, very cool.
Beautiful.
So do you think they might
I
try
hope.
to do something?
I think there's been rumblings of like an animated series or
Okay.
some kind
Yeah.
of live action series or something. Or I think they made some comic books, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
But
that was like a.
I love this movie.
love that movie.
It's just a
It
feel
was a good movie.
You
Yeah,
know,
it
it's
was
so
fun.
much fun.
It was fun. Yeah.
And I was just like a sequel though. I mean, no Alan Rickman now. I mean,
Right.
Well, that's true. You don't
It's like
even have him.
like
I know. Well, maybe they could do like a CGI thing.
Yeah.
Not
Well,
have him in it as much.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
That'll
Well,
be hard. But
Yeah.
maybe.
99 was such a good year for movies.
Oh,
because
oh, yeah.
Two of my absolute favorite movies came out that same year: The Matrix and Fight Club.
yep. Fight Club.
Fine.
Being
Wow.
John Malkovich.
Being John, yeah.
That was a weird one, being John Malkovich.
Office
So
Space.
sad.
But it was weird. But I did like it. It was and
Yeah.
it was original, sort of.
Yeah,
Rushmore
right.
I was
came
like-
out that year.
No, 98 actually.
Oh.
But still a great movie.
Well, it was theatrically released that year.
Okay.
Because I worked in the movie theater.
Oh, okay.
in 99.
You were there back then?
I worked at Comac Multiplex.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So I worked at a big box movie theater.
All right. Cool.
But yeah.
All right.
Well, we got some more announcements. September 21st is also Batman Day,
Ooh.
and I just wanted
that's
to wish
right.
everybody a happy early Batman Day.
Happy Batman Day.
So
Yeah.
have they chosen who's going to replace Ben? If they do another?
Well, Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, yeah,
Is it-
Robert
Oh, that's right. Oh my God. Yes.
Wait, wasn't he like
Robert
confirmed,
Pattinson?
and then they
yes.
he backed out or something? And he
Really?
came
I
back?
haven't
don't
heard
think-
that.
I haven't
thought it was
heard-
confirmed.
Maybe
I
I'm just
haven't heard
hoping he
anything
backed out.
else since that. You're right.
I
he
look
did
forward
get
to
I mean,
confirmed.
great.
please. Hoping you just don't like him based on what? Twilight, maybe?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing.
He's a
See,
and
any movie he's done after Twilight,
he did a David Cronenberg film. He
he
did two of them.
did two of them. He did
Yeah.
Maps of the Stars and
He's just a one-known actor.
and
Pretty boy.
Cosmo.
Yeah,
Well, that's
I
just
think
it.
it's hard
We've
to-
only seen one note out of him. We don't
Yeah.
know what the rest of
Do you
his
think he'll
notes
be
are.
a good Bruce Wayne?
Well, I don't. Well, first,
Time,
well,
High Life.
it's too premature to say that.
True, true.
Yeah.
You have to wait until after the fact. We don't know what he's really capable of.
Right.
Look at Heath Ledger.
Right, right.
Up
Yeah.
until
Oh,
It was a
until Dark
surprise.
Knight, what was he? A gay cowboy?
Knight's Tale, and,
Right.
and,
Yeah.
and
10
like
Things I Hate About You. Yep.
Where it was like one
Other
of those
They
things-
did
than Christopher
Joker,
Nolan,
that was-
who could have seen that performance coming?
Yeah,
that's a
that
good-
was very
See?
surprising.
That,
he did
and
a great job.
he won a posthumous
Posthumous,
Oscar. Posthumous Oscar, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
hoping
So,
Joaquin
so when you
will do justice. I mean, you think?
Probably.
So yeah, when
We'll
you
see.
say when you address that question, I can't see him as a Batman because he's a one-note actor. It's like, see, it's that kind of thinking that prevented everybody
said
else
the same
from
thing
seeing
about
Heath
Michael
Ledger,
Keaton.
Heath Ledger's
Father.
Joker. Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean-
Michael Keaton.
I think John Hamm would have been a great Batman.
Oh, that would have
An
been
older Batman.
Really
With a
little humor
made-
thrown in.
yeah.
Or maybe an old, or maybe a Thomas Wayne kind of thing. I could see
Yeah.
that as well.
Yeah.
Well, I'm still hoping Michael Keaton returns to the Batman universe in some way as the older Bruce Wayne in Batman Beyond.
Who knows? We'll see. We'll see.
see.
But I heard something about a rumor
you
mill,
think
like
he would?
Kevin Conroy playing like
It's
an
possible.
older Bruce
Okay.
Wayne or something.
Oh, Kevin Conroy?
Because that would be epic.
Oh yeah,
like a
yeah,
live
that's
action
right.
thing, yeah, right.
Yeah. Oh, and because they're doing the DC the Infinite Earths or whatever for the TV thing,
Okay.
Crisis, and Kevin Conroy is playing Batman.
See, that's cool.
Live action for
Live
once.
action.
And,
Yeah.
and Paul Rubens played the Penguin's father
Yeah.
in Gotham. He was
Really?
Penguin's father in
Okay.
Batman Returns.
There you go.
So that's cool stuff. You know.
There you go. There you go.
We'll see. All right, more. We only have 5 minutes, and I want to get to the plugs. But we've also got company that I'm involved with. Great event, an immersive event company, Barbecue Films. They throw events all over the city. They did Ghostbusters headquarters. That's where I met them. They did Beetlejuice wedding, where they actually married a couple dressed up, and they've just done random events throughout the city. They're doing the special green screen series, which is movies that are centered around marijuana use, and they're doing a special screening of a Reefer Madness, the musical, this Friday, the 20th at House of Yes in Brooklyn. There's an image there.
Okay.
And I'll be there. I'll be interviewing some talent, I believe. And yeah, it's just a fun show. Just, you can look up barbecuefilms.com so you can purchase tickets. And they do great events. They're Emmy nominated. They did a special live event for Mr. Robot a year ago.
Very
Speaking of Rami Malek.
Yeah, he's terrific. He's terrific. So yeah, that's this Friday at the House of Yes in Brooklyn. So if you guys want to go, tickets are on sale now.
Cool.
Yeah, it's should be a good time.
Worth considering.
Yeah. And also, I wanted to mention that the other day I had the privilege and honor of interviewing Tom Arnold, actor and comedian.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
he's promoting his new
Speaking
film.
of True Lies.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's
Bringing
all
that up again.
connected. It's all
Yes.
connected. And his new movie, it's actually a pretty good dramedy called 3 Days with Dad, where he is a sibling, and there's like this family of other siblings, and they're basically they're congregating because their father is dying, played by Brian Dennehy.
Okay.
And he actually gives a decent performance. It's more of a supporting role, but he has a pretty good, actually a dramatic moment. And I was really surprised by that because
Wow.
So he was very cool, and that interview is actually going to be up on YouTube this week, so you could check that out on Under the Radar. And we have 3 minutes left.
Okay.
It's all about time.
All right. I kind of cashed in my my plugs already, so let everybody else cash in their plugs.
Yeah. So you're good with the? Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, Call Cafe every Saturday night at 10 o'clock at Cinema Arts Center in Huntington, which in October is a little off-kilter because of other programming being on Saturdays. Thanks to the Halloween season, there'll be a retro picture show, Halloween 2 screening on one of those days, so I will not be there. And then a Rocky Horror Picture Show screening with a Shadowcast. Those are the last two. But coming up this weekend, we have the Talking Heads Stop Making Sense Dance Party. So we'll be screening the film. Floor will be open for dancing. Following week is Desolation Center, show about the 90s desert concerts, Minutemen, Meat Puppets, Sonic Youth. Neubauten. It's going to be cool.
You'd love the Barbecue Films event because I think there's going to be some live music too.
Awesome. Very
Yeah.
cool. And then, October, we got Fright Night.
Love it.
David Cronenberg's Rabid,
Okay.
which is a classic.
Oh my God.
And then we're doing Evil Dead 4K remaster. We're actually doing it in one of the theaters.
Okay.
So on Halloween night.
Wait,
Wow.
it's not at the Cinema Arts Center?
It's a Cult Cafe event, but in one of the theaters.
Ooh. Oh, okay. In the main
In
theater.
one of the
Oh,
main
that's
theaters
cool.
on
Okay.
Halloween night.
Oh,
Yeah.
that should
A
be
4K
very cool.
remaster.
Yeah.
Okay. So, cool.
Very cool.
All right. Judy, anything you want to plug or
Well,
mention?
I guess that I'm just going to plug that I'll be covering the Urban World Film Festival coming up, the 23rd, and then after that, Comic-Con.
Nice.
I'll be covering those. Yeah.
You'll be there.
I'll be at Comic Con, so maybe we'll bump into each
Yeah, I'll
other.
be
We
there
might-
too.
I think I'm going to only do that Friday, but
Okay.
yes, I'll
What
be
do you have
there.
anything slated? Anything that you're covering specifically?
Well, no, not well. I've got quite a bit that
Okay.
I'm covering, so but I need to put on my schedule. I haven't confirmed, but probably something for like Sci-Fi did reach out to me for something, trying to lock down AMC. So I don't know as of yet. We still have 2 weeks. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Matt, I don't think you're going to Comic-Con, right?
no,
I usually I don't. I have kids on the weekend, so I don't really have like.
Well, Sunday's
a lot of
Family
weekend.
Day.
yeah,
Family
we could
Day,
do
yeah,
that,
that's
but
true.
it's a
Yeah,
beast.
that's
I'm
true.
telling you now.
then we can all meet
But
up
I'll
and hang
probably be on
out.
Under the Radar. No, I'm just kidding. You'll be there.
Yeah.
You'll be there.
All right, cool, guys. So 30 seconds left. I just want to do some plugs for our wonderful sponsor, Magnitude Jewelry. September 20th to the 22nd, the Yoga Festival in Cape Cod, Massachusetts. October 18th to the 20th, the New Life Expo at the New Yorker Hotel, New York City. And then in November is the Naval Expo in Tarrytown, New York. And also the Heart Freedom Expo in Chicago, Illinois. And we'll have more dates and information for that. But guys, I want to thank you so much. This is great.
Thank you, guys.
You guys are welcome anytime.
Okay.
And yeah, I want to thank everyone watching at home and on your devices. And we'll be back with more film reviews and interviews next week. Under the Radar, I'm your host, Randy Younger. See you next week.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
Under the Radar is all new next week with more movie reviews and interviews on Strong Island Radio and Television. Stay tuned. We'll see you next week.